I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the spirit of the services here. Romans 12, 1 and 2, we know these verses, don't we? Young people, I'm going to do something you're not supposed to do as preachers in meetings like this. I'm supposed to tell you what the conspiracy is around here. There's a conspiracy. We're after you to get you to yield your life to the Lord. Now look here, it don't take rocket science to figure that out, right? You probably got it by now, and not from just here, from your church, from your youth group, from camp, from godly parents. Our goal is to get you to do Romans 12, 1 and 2. To present your body a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Please don't miss that statement. That statement simply means he's not asking for something that's not his anyhow. And that's not reasonable. That you present your body as a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service, holy, acceptable unto God. I'm getting messed up. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your body as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And I think you also understand, young people, tonight that this yield yourself to God thing is not some kind of a casual deal. I was watching the folks with the pugilist sticks up here. The little dudes won. I about came out of my seat over there. Yeah! Big tall guy, hat goes off. Tall girl, hat goes off. Little dude. You figured it out, haven't you, young people, that to win at something you got to get all the way in to do it? Some of you, whenever you go to like a conference like this, you start to kind of pick up the pace and get into it a little bit better by like Wednesday night. And just about the time it's over, you're getting in. You do that with camp. You do that with a lot of stuff in your life. You do understand the sooner you get in, the better off you're going to be. And we're not talking now about yielding to the Lord in a casual way. Well, I'll give him a Sunday. This is present your body a living sacrifice. That means give it all. So again, I'm uncovering the conspiracy tonight. We're out here tonight to get you to give it all to God. Now, I hope you understand also, young people, that this is not just the presenting of yourself a living sacrifice is two things. It is an act and it is a process. The act of presenting yourself to God is you finally come to that place in your life where you say, that's it, I'm giving him everything he paid for. He gets it all. No reservation, no hesitation. Because what does he ask for? He wants you to present your what, young people? He wants you to present your body. Well, why didn't he say your mind, your soul, your heart, all that stuff? You know why? Because the body is the house of the soul the house of the spirit. And if you give him your body, you're basically saying you have everything. You get it all. You get everything. Now, some of you tonight, you need to come to that decision, the act of yielding yourself to God fully and completely. Because some of you, you've never done that before. You've never honestly given God everything about you. You've always held on to something. So in reality, giving yourself a living sacrifice, you've never really done that. You've gotten yielded before, and there's been some yielded things in your life, and there's been some things about you about which you have yielded, but you have never honestly, fully, completely given him everything about your life. No deals, no reservation, no limitations. I'll give you everything but the mission field. I'll give you everything but my friend. I'll give you everything. No. You give him everything. So for some of you tonight, this yieldedness is a brand new thing in reality. And he wants you to present your body a living sacrifice. So for some of you, it's brand new. No holds barred. God gets it all. But now for some of you, now look at me, please. I know you're standing. Don't worry about it. I haven't forgotten anything. I'm old, but I'm not that old. But for some of you, you've done that before. And then you took it back. You honestly, best as you knew how, you gave God everything about your life. And then something happened. Somebody disappointed you. Somebody failed you. Somebody let you down. Or in some cases, maybe you found out in giving him everything, God was going to ask something of you weren't really willing to do at all. But whatever it was, you took that which you yielded, your full, completed, yielded life, you took it and you gave it back. You took it back. That's why he said he wants you to present yourself a living sacrifice, living sacrifice. Some of you tonight, you really need to come right down tonight when this service is over, come down to this altar and say, I give it back, God. I do. I give it all back to you now. I'm sorry. I got mad at you. I got mad at my parents. I got mad at my youth director. I got mad at some preacher. I got mad at another Christian. I got mad about something. I got hurt. I got my heart broken, and I took it back. But tonight, God, I give it all back to you, all of it. The process of a living sacrifice is a living sacrifice. See, people, youth conference and camp and these kind of things, they help to remind us, kind of get us back on some focus, challenge us. They're tremendous. But you must understand something. I've been in the will of God now for over 40 years in my life, and the truth of the matter is, young people, I yielded to God again today. And I'll do it again tomorrow. And God willing, I'll do it again every day for the rest of my life, because I need to give him everything he paid for every day. A continual yieldedness in my life, and that's the process of a living sacrifice. So I need to decide to give it, and then I need to remind myself every day, I'm going to put myself on the altar of sacrifice laid, and God won't get much, but he'll get everything Mike Johnson could give him, and yield yourself fully and completely to him every day of your life. Because there'll be days when you'll want to take it back and you'll say, but I'm not my own. I'm bought with a price, and it's his life. It's not my life, it's his life. It's not my way, it's his way. It's not my will, it's his will. Now, okay, so we know what this means, right? So we're clear on what Romans 12, 1 and 2 says. Can I give you tonight very quickly? I don't know why I say that, because it'll probably be a 4-hour sermon. How long were you at Knott's Berry Farm today? How long? About 4 hours. Okay, good. 4-hour sermon should even out the Knott's Berry Farm thing. No, you don't want a 4-hour sermon. This is lying in church. Only people said that were adults who think they're spiritual. The rest of the teenagers are going, oh, God, please, no. Oh, God, no. I ate 82 churros, and I've got to get out of here. How's that go, brother? What is it, my friends over here? Oh, this way. Oh, this way, yeah. What is if it's number, no, never mind. Okay, anyway, so, I'm sorry. So, you hold up 2 fingers, go there, okay. So, there we go. And only a jerk, I'm an idiot. I don't get asked back a lot to preach places. I think I know why. No, you don't want a 4-hour sermon, but I'm going to hit it and get it pretty quick, because I want to talk to you tonight. Now we understand what it means to give yourself completely all the way to God. I want to show you the benefits for it. What are you going to get out of it? Heavenly Father, bless and help us tonight, I pray in Christ's name. Amen. Be seated. Romans 12 and verse 2 are the benefits of a yielded life. And what are they? Be not conformed to this world. Benefit number 1 of a completely yielded life. And here it is, young people. Look at me now. Look at me. Here it is. You'll be right about the world in which you live. See, when this hippie boy from the 60s walked into an independent fundamental soul winning separated King James Bible preaching hellfire and damnation Baptist church for the first time in 1975, and yes, they had churches then. And that preacher got up there and started preaching the Bible. This guy was mean. I talked about him this morning. This guy was mean. Not like me, sweet. This cat was mean. He preached on the love of God and make you mad. He was mad about everything. God loves you. I thought, no, thank you. If that's the love of God, stay away from me. I'm cutting John 3:16 out of my Bible, pal. Really? And he loves you. And the reason you don't know that is because you're not right with God. I said, no, the reason I don't know that is because I'm scared of God. That's why. That's the way God loves me. No, thank you. guy was a wild man. And then he started preaching on stuff that I was doing. And he wasn't preaching on eating hamburgers, bro. I mean, he started nailing long hair on guys. Now, it was the 1970s. Long hair in those days, some of you remember, some of you guys need to go back and get it. But the truth is, it wasn't just long hair, it was styled long hair. Huh? Come on, can I get a witness on that from you guys out there tonight? All right? Are you with me? Styled long hair. Where you took a blow dryer and a brush and you curled your long hair. Curled it under, shaped it till you looked like a bad case of Donny Osmond. I mean, it was horrible. That's right, and wore a leisure suit and everything else. Just shut up. Now, stay with me for a moment. But it was still long hair. Yeah. And he started preaching on it. I don't care what he was preaching on. He preached on heaven. And you stinking sissies in your long hair. So what's that got to do with heaven? And then he would point at the person who had the long hair, and I was the only guy in the room with long hair. Now, being a California boy, you know what that meant. I had to flip it for the Rev to check it. Watch me, Rev. Sure. Woo, baby. Check this one, Rev, the other side. Woo. Or I just kind of, if I had just, done my blow dry hairbrush thing, I'd just kind of go, And he would just, you think the man had rabies. He would foam. And then call me a sissy with long hair. I'm like, okay now. I wasn't right with the Lord. I just started going back to church and stuff. And I was sitting there and this man's nailing my hide. But I had made a decision that if somebody could prove to me from the Bible what they said, I'd go with that. Then he did 1 Corinthians 11:14. And I thought, uh-oh, that's in the Bible. But how long is long? If nature teacher may have long hair is a shame unto him. But how long is long? And how about all them hippie pictures of Jesus? Jesus had long hair. So what about that? We talked about that this morning. Now stay with me just a moment. Look at me, young people. Look at me. That still wasn't the issue, With Mike Johnson wanting to know, well, I'm not so sure that was exactly what he meant when he said long hair. Kind of like what you do. We preach something from the Bible, you go, well, I'm not so sure that's for this dispensation. You're stinking 14. You think dispensation is a toilet paper thing in the bathroom that puts out toilet paper. That's what you think. Hey, if we rated your knowledge of the Bible in terms of gasoline, you couldn't drive an Ant's Gold Card around the inside of a Cheerio 2 times without stopping for gas 3 times. And all of a sudden, you're a stinking theologian. You're not sure this is for this particular dispensation there. My favorite one is young people who go like this. They say, ouch. They say, that's a lot of pork, brother. Drop off that thing right there. I just compressed my spine. It took 6 months off my life. Why don't you guys get some steps for those things, for goodness sakes? I'll be all right. Hold on a minute. I forgot what I was going to say. I shook. Mild concussion. The problem is this, see? It's not can we prove it from the Bible. Here's the issue. Young people will say, well, it's not necessarily a conviction with me. If it's in the Bible, it's a conviction. Well, I'm not necessarily convicted about it. Neither was Jonah when he crawled down inside the ship and went to sleep. While heathens up there bailing water trying to keep his wormy carcass alive, that man was sound asleep inside the ship. He wasn't under conviction about nothing, and he knew he wasn't right with God. So don't give me that junk. Don't talk to me about whether or not it's a conviction with you. I'll have to think about that and pray about it, Pastor Johnson. That's Greek for pal, that boat don't float, that dog never treat a coon. You know that's not the case. Let me tell you what the real issue is, okay? Over here in the smoking section. Let me tell you what the real issue is. The issue is this. You are not yielded to God. And I'll testify, this old hippie boy, when I got yielded to the Lord, and I put my all on the altar of sacrifice laid, and I decided once and for all and forever, he was going to get everything that he paid for. All of a sudden, I found out I didn't have an issue with being conformed to the world. That wasn't an issue. Then all of a sudden it was, okay, is it in the Bible? Can you, by the way, If God has to put everything in the Bible you can or can't do, it'll be so big it'll take a U-Haul truck to carry it around. But there are principles in the Bible that cover everything. There are 5 of them in your New Testament under this statement. And whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of God. Okay? Whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of God. Jesus, I'm going to glorify you for this here stogie. An e-cig. I'm a vapor. It's in the Bible. This life is but a vapor. Got people out there vaping like huffing like a bunch of rhinos in Kenya, man. They're vaping. You can't glorify him. If he can't bring glory to God, you don't need it. Shouldn't be a part of your life. If you can't give thanks for it, you can't do it. I've been on the mission field and they want to feed you one of their delicacies. Yeah. They put it on a plate in front of you and you look at it and you go, oh my soul. And the missionary says, you'll offend them if you don't eat it. I go, get Psalm 119, 165 out. Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them, because I ain't eating that. And I'm pretty open. I mean, look here. That's a fried chicken graveyard right there, Holmes. Let me tell you something. I'll eat all kinds of stuff. I'll try about anything once. Almost. And I looked down on the mission field plate before and went, okay, but if it'll quit moving first. How come it's moving? Is it supposed to have legs? And why are the legs moving? Are those eyeballs? That's the delicacy too. I'm going to eat the eyeballs. I said to the next guy in Kenya, he took a tilapia, fried tilapia fish, ate the whole thing except one little piece of spine. I mean, skin, eyeballs, hair, not hair. Fins, everything. He ate the head, the parts, everything but one little piece of, I guess he was just he was on a diet or something, so he didn't eat the last of the tail, the little spinal thing in the. Okay. You know, people, look here. The truth of the matter is, dear folks, being conformed to this world is not an issue with a yielded Christian. But see, the issue is you haven't put that one on the altar yet. Now, have you? Huh? What you got on your iPad, iPod, or I don't care, whatever it is you got, you haven't done that yet. You're electronically so plugged in, you're smarter than your parents, and you're able to get around all this kind of stuff. So look at. So you keep those little things in your little iPad or iPod so you know when to get to that music, know how to get to that place, know how to get to that stuff. See, you just haven't put it all there yet. You have not yielded it all yet to God. But if you will present your body a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service, you will have no problem with being not conformed to this world. That's the bottom line now. Listen out one more time. This hippie boy's 60s. I'm in church. This man's up there preaching on stuff I was doing, things I was thinking about doing. He was way ahead of me with stuff I hadn't even thought about that one yet. I mean, this guy was way out ahead of me. And every time he'd say that, I go, well, I don't know about that. And the Holy Spirit would punch me real good. And I'd get to the old-fashioned altar and say, now, Lord, I don't know about all this, but I give you everything I got, Father. I yield to you. And if you want it, you can have it. It cost me my career. I was an air traffic controller. I was in the Air Force because my IQ was too high to be in another branch of the military. They wouldn't take me. And so, truth hurts, known as spanking. Yeah, deal with it. And I was an air traffic controller. You know, the guy who tells the pilots where to go and stuff. I love that job. It's exciting. I mean, it's one of those things where you do this job and it's like you love it. It was fantastic. It was interesting. It was everything you would want in a job that would capture your imagination. Plus, if I just got out of the service and became a civilian controller, you could travel 2 times the world free every year, once a year, 2 times the world free. You sit in a jump seat in the cockpit behind the pilot. And they pay pretty good. High pressure and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of why I went in the ministry, to get out of the pressure. Used to tell pilots where to go. Now I tell Baptists where to go. It's a little better. When I yielded to God, he did. He took that from me and wanted me to be a preacher. And I'm not complaining. Oh, no. No complaints. Thank you very much. Now, I have still been to all these places in the world and done all this kind of stuff, so it's not like I lost a whole lot. But the truth of the matter is, if I didn't do anything but pastor in Redding, California for the rest of the days of my life and never left town except go to the auction yard in Cottonwood where they have the world's the nation's largest private auction yard, and they auction cattle. If that was the farthest I got was 8 miles south of Redding, California, I never went anywhere, did anything. I wouldn't feel like my life was a failure because I found out when you're right in the middle of the will of God. Young people, did you know something? I found something out. I yielded to the Lord. Music really isn't an issue with me. Did you know, 60-year-old preacher, I still have to be careful about my friends. I still do. Everybody does. Don't think because you stop being a teenager one of these days, all of a sudden you don't have to worry about friendships. I still have to be careful about my friends. Let me give you a principle about friendship you need to live by. Here's the principle. Listen carefully. Listen. Every friend of yours must be a compromiser. Pastor, you mean not be compromised? No, they must be a compromiser. Every friend of mine must be a compromiser because I will not have a friend who's not a better Christian than me. Some of you still got your little posse crew mentality. You got to get a little following. So you got to get a couple worldly willies who are willing to follow you around and stuff like that. See, I don't do it. Brother Goddard's a dear friend of mine. Truth is, the man's a better Christian than me. It's his fault for being my friend. He's a compromiser. I won't have a friend who won't call me up. I won't have a friend who won't help me up. I won't have a friend who won't push me forward. I won't have a friend who will hold me back. I don't have a friend who slows me down. I want a friend out in front of me. I go to my friends and I'll tell them, if you see something in me that's no good, I want you to tell me that. Some of you it'd crush you. You'd have to unfriend them on your little Facebook. What in the world is Twitter anyway? Is that some kind of queer parakeet or something? What in the world is Twitter? Well, I Twittered this person. The truth of the matter is, when I was a kid, some guy walked up to you and said, will you Twitter me? I'd have whooped him. I'd have hit him so stinking hard his mama felt it. That's a fact. I don't get the Twitter thing. Little bird up there. What are you doing, man? Don't you know how, okay, here's the point. You see, young people, look here. The truth of the matter is, see, I don't want to have worldly friends. It's not because I'm better than anybody else, because I'm not. Oh, my soul. My poor friends, God bless them. And regularly, they'll say, come on now, Brother Johnson, you're a little over the line on that one. I go, really? Oh, okay, thank you. And I don't go home and cry. And put up my little bougie lip. And say, he's not there for me. Oh, brother. I said, thank you, man. What was it I did? No, they'll tell me. I go, did I do that? My poor wife. We're going from church on Sunday. She'll say, honey, you know what you said today? I go, what? She'll say, I go, I didn't say that. She says, get the tape. Not the tape. That's our old language. Get the CD, babe. You said, I go, I didn't. In church, we're alive to the internet. They're going to come and kill us all. She goes, it was a great sermon, but you said that. I go, I'm turning to my wife and say, who do you think you are, woman? You're talking to the man of God. Dr. Michael R. Johnson. You understand that, girl? You better watch it. She didn't tell me what to do. She didn't tell me what to preach, but she tells me when I blow it. And she'll say it very nicely. Well, honey, it was kind of funny, but okay. See, the truth is, look here. That's not your issue, and you know it. Some of you, we put a knot in your knickers today with some of the stuff we preached and taught here. And you know what your issue is? You're not yielded to God. That's what your issue is. Don't give me the stuff, all right? Don't tell me about that. I'm not a highly intelligent man. I don't know everything about the Bible. I know enough to know what I preach and what I believe and why I believe it. I know whom I have believed and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. I have no doubt in my mind about who I am, where I stand, and what I believe. And the truth is, young person, if you yield to God, you will not be conformed to this world. You're not going to have an issue with it. So let's deal with the yieldedness, okay? Let's not deal with it. Well, I'm a teenager and we all have our issues. Yeah, like you're the first one who had issues. Who ain't got issues? I was teaching a homiletic class. Hold on a second. Okay. Wait a minute. It's the big one. Okay, hold on a second. I was teaching a homiletics class, and we had a young man in that class. His name is Jairus Brown. He's a young black man. And Jairus, in homiletics, that's a class where they teach you how to preach. Sad, I taught that class. And Jairus got up to preach, and he said, I'm going to preach a sermon on the woman with the issues of blood. I'm sitting back with my little critique sheet. I go, okay, issues of blood, text. And he goes, now, I don't know if this is homiletically correct. I thought, well, it's not homiletic, son. It's homiletics. These don't say homo. He goes, but I don't know if this is homiletically correct or not, but I'm going to preach on this sermon. She got issues. And I said, go. I wrote in this little survey thing, lousy application, great sermon. I wrote it down right here. She got this issue in her life. She got that. Everybody got issues, man. Don't talk to me about your issues. Talk to me about the yieldedness of your heart. That's the issue. You present yourself a living sacrifice and you keep that on the altar of God. You will not be conformed to this world. You're going to have problems with that kind of stuff. You're going to come to us with the Beaver Baptist look. Well, what's wrong with this? And what's wrong with that? And how come we can't do this? And why can't we go over there? They make hats out of beavers. Number two. The benefit of being yielded to God, number two, is it leads to a changed life. Verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed. Transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation is the word that explains how the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. Metamorphosis is the word, and it's that transformation where that ugly, hairy caterpillar attaches itself under an eave or a branch, forms a chrysalis about its body, and inside that chrysalis, the miracle of evolution takes place. God, in his divine design and decree, turns that ugly, hairy caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. Listen, it's a transformation. If you yield yourself fully and completely to God, your life will change. How do you think, look, this is a shocking statement. How do you think this liberal-minded California hippie boy from the 60s became a right-wing fundamental Baptist? Huh? As much as Bible college helped me, that wasn't the issue. It helped. You know what helped me more than anything else? Father, I yield to you in this matter. See what it says in that verse? Look at verse 2. Be not conformed to this world. Be transformed by the what? By the renewing of your mind. You yield yourself to God, God will change the way you think. And if you change the way somebody thinks, you'll change the way they live. Well, there's a lot of dumb stuff I used to believe. You weren't that way, were you, Brother Myers? Dumb stuff. Dumb. Capital D-U-M-B. Dumb. Every man marches to the beat of a different drummer, Henry David Thoreau. Oh, yeah, do your own thing. I saw a bumper sticker the other day on a car. It said, be unique, just like everyone else. Let that percolate. You'll get there. Junior hires are still going, what? If you're unique, you're like all the other unique people. This junior hire is still not getting it. Okay, never mind. The point is, but you're low to the ground, so it'll come. Here's the deal. The truth is, I found out that if you do your own thing, you're like all the do your own thing people. But I thought I was doing my own thing, but I wasn't. I was doing everybody else's thing, doing their thing, what their thing in life was. There was nothing unique about that. It was the dumbest thing. We were talking today about the Queen's Pike over here. It used to be in Long Beach. I used to live in Newport Beach, Costa Mesa. Went to Costa Mesa, Estancia High School, graduated high school. I played football at Tustin High. We used to come up to the Queen's Pike in Long Beach, back when they had the roller coaster and the chowder stand. Can I get witness on the chowder stand? Oh, yeah, buddy. And the chili boat where the guy put chili in that bucket every day, just adding to it, never threw it out, just put more chili in there. Whew. Dude, you'd eat that stuff, you'd go nuclear. You'd have visions without chemicals. I mean, there was stuff. We go to the Pike and play right on the roller coaster. That was a big deal back in those days. Yeah, me and Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone. Oh, shut up. The truth is, I was this liberal-minded hippie boy from the 60s. I go in an independent fundamental Baptist church. Look at me, young people. You see this right here? This book is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged butter knife. Sharper than any two-edged sword. You know what that means, don't you? Look at me. You know what it means? It means it's edgy. Sharper than any two-edged sword. Now, I'm Cherokee. And so one thing about Indians is we don't have a lot of hair on our face. I joined the service in 1971. I bought a small pack of 10 razor blades for my injector, little shave razor. I got out 4 years later. I had 3 left. Plus, hair doesn't grow on steel. I mean, let's just talk about it for a moment. What are you laughing at, Holmes? Give me a break over here. You know, the truth of the matter is, young people, I found something out. I found out when you get right with the Lord and you get your heart yielded to God, it changes your life. Absolutely. And when I would go to church and he'd preach on something, I'd say, well, wait a minute, I'm not doing that. And I'd say, wait a minute, but I yielded to the Lord on this. And I would yield. Yes. Going soul winning. You know how scary that is to a new Christian? That's scary stuff. Walk up to a total stranger and ask him if he died today, are you sure you go to heaven? I mean, seriously? But that's still not the issue now, is it? The issue is yieldedness to God. See, the commandments of God are not grievous. He's not going to ask you to do something you can't do. And I can still do all things through Christ which strengthens me. That's still in the Bible. Last time I checked it, it was. The truth of the matter is, young person, you know, if we're careful and we really keep our heart yielded to the Lord, he will change our life. That's why the process of yieldedness will help you, because the process of yieldedness will be, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Then the old things are passing away. That's a process. All things are become new. That's a process. And then the fulcrum of that is stay yielded to God and let that old stuff go. You got to let it go so the new can come. And when it does, it'll change your life. And here I am, a hippie boy, liberal-minded California hippie boy who's a right-wing, independent, fundamental, soul-winning, separated King James Bible preaching, hellfire and damnation Baptist, and have been since 1975. Some of you are going, that's right after the King James Bible came out. Shut up. Truth of the matter is, it's been, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm just okay with where I am. But, you know, there's still things I can't grasp real well. First of all, there's things about life I don't get. Did I say this about women and men, the difference between men and women? I don't think so, did I? Okay, 2 couples, man and a wife, go out to dinner. You sit down for dinner, and the wife turns to the other wife. She goes, I'm going to the bathroom. Would you like to go with me? And they get up and they go. Nobody thinks anything of it. No one goes, what are these 2 women going to the bathroom for? Why are they going together? They come back and sit down. The guy turns to the other guy and goes, I'm going to the bathroom. You want to go with me? No. Not going to happen. But you see what I'm saying? Women will scream their heads off when a spider comes in a room. Little fuzzy spider like this. Jump on a chair and scream, which probably killed it anyway. You go in and stomp on that spider, what do they do next? They go into the bathroom, take tweezers, and pull hair out of their face. I don't understand that. Look at me. I'll take a room full of tarantulas before I will stand there with a surgical instrument and yank hair off my face. Rub hot wax on their legs, put tape on there, and go and rip it off. What bores you came up with that one, man? Torture. And they're going, well, this is to make me look better. You got to be kidding me. I want hairy legs. Not Women. Okay, all right, let me get off of it. I'm falling apart up here, people. It's bad. When I jumped down over there, it compressed my spine. I think I did something to my brain. It's not kicking in. I'm all right. Give me a minute. I get back to my room. I got a marijuana prescription. We'll take care of it. But I come across stuff in the Bible. You know, I'd prefer that there wasn't a hell. It would be nice if people wouldn't wind up in hell and burn forever. Wouldn't that be nice? No hell. So what do you think about it, Pastor Johnson? It's there. Right. Hell hath enlarged itself. Heaven has exact dimensions, the new heaven. Hell is like a gaping monster whose mouth opens to catch those who fall into it. I wish there wasn't a hell, but it doesn't make it go away. It's still there. And I can't do anything about it. I don't want to do anything about it. I don't have any question about the doctrine of hell. I know it's there. Jesus preached 14 sermons on life after death. 13 were about hell. Don't tell. It's in the book. You can't mess with that. When I come across things in the Bible and I kind of scratch my head and I go, well, you know what, Lord, here's what I do. I said, but I'm yielded to the Lord. It's in the Bible. It's in the book. That's all there is to it. And did you know that changes your mind? It changes your life. It changes your thinking. And let's talk about it tonight. It's about yieldedness. Some of you got down the road a little way in this Christian life thing, and all of a sudden you came across a couple of things and you went, well, I'm not real sure about that. And you turned into a Baptist beaver. And you pulled up and you put a stop sign where God put a green light, and you stopped the process. What you need to do is get back to an old-fashioned altar and fall on your face and ask God to help you to keep a yielded heart, and you know what? Your life will change. It was that way about my music. It was that way, sit up, son. It was that way about my music. It was that way about my friendships. It was that way about my future. It was that way about my life. I just stay yielded to God, and He changed my life. Last thing there in verse number 2 is a yielded life also helps you to know the will of God. It says in verse number 2 that you may prove. Watch. That you may prove what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. You know, the word prove means to put to the test by smelling. We got any single guys in here? And I'm talking about teenagers. Of course you're single because, look at you. But I mean, I'm talking about single young adult men. Single young adult men here? Put your fan up in there and say, okay, brother. You go to these guys, they got an apartment or a place you live in? You live in the dormitory? Okay, you got a fridge? You guys live like animals around here. You don't have a fridge? A refrigerator. A refrigerator? You got one, okay. Go to the refrigerator in the guy's dormitory. Open the door. Yep. There's stuff in there, brother. There's stuff in there that the Bible says moveth itself aright. You open a bucket from Popeyes, one of those containers, you look in there, and it's green. Popeyes doesn't sell anything that's green like that. But a single guy says, I put some chili on that and nuke it. I get it real hot. I may not get E. coli, and I'm too tired to go get something to eat. Chili, cheese, some onions, some sour cream. If that doesn't kill him, whatever's below that will. And he'll nuke it off. But before he eats it, what does he do? Now, for guys, we don't smell, well, we smell like women do. Well, wait a minute. Let me see if I can reword this. We don't have the same sense of smell. Thank you very much. We don't have the same sense of smell as women do. Like with my wife, she has incredible hearing. She hears things I never even said. That's how incredible her hearing is. Seriously. I go, sweetheart, you got like supersonic, superpower hero. I never said that, honey. Honestly. It was getting bad and you would have to carry a recorder around to record your conversations. Because your wife said, really, she woke me up one night in the middle of the night. She just woke me up. She goes, honey, and I sleep like Brother Greg. I sleep like a rock, man. I'm out. She wakes me up. She goes, honey, there's a dog outside breathing. First of all, we don't have a dog. I go, you're kidding me. She goes, no. Outside the window of our room, breathing. I said, that's nice. Go see it. I go, why? You want me to shoot it? Then she talks in her sleep. I was sound asleep one night. I believe in, I'm sorry, I'm from California. I believe in gun rights. I do. And I believe in gun control. You use both hands and you empty the clip. You run enough lead in the air, they'll run into something eventually. So I got like a 42 round on my Glock 9, okay? It just goes all the way to the floor and you just stand there. Pop, 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 pop. I told my wife when I left, she didn't come with me. I told her what to do, showed her where the guns were in the bedroom area where the guns are and stuff. Said, this is a Glock 9, babe. It's ready to go. You just point and shoot. Got a Colt 380. Pull the hammer back. Bing, 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 bing. And if those 17 rounds don't get the guy, here's my old 38 right here with hot loads in it. So stinking hot when you pull the hammer, babe, people 2 miles away are going to drop dead. I mean, it's hot. And I showed her where to shoot, the door. You lock the door, you get right there, see the little cross right there? That's where you get them, right there. It's boom, 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 boom. Showed her how to do it. She wakes me up in the middle of the night. She goes, honey, he's in the front room. I mean, sound asleep. I go, what? She goes, he is in, and she's looking at me. He's in the front room. I go, oh, my soul. I jump up, I grab my weapon. I think this is appropriate to say. I had my pajamas on. I have them on right now. And I wasn't wearing a suit, okay? Are you with me? Look like Big Hero 6 in the moonlight. I'm gonna stand there with my piece of... I come up to, and I've never even seen the thing. I just saw the picture on the front. I go, that looks like me in the moonlight when I'm in my drawer. I'm sorry. I've never seen it, so don't get on me about the movies. I have never seen it. I just saw the picture. I go, my wife even said, that looks like, oh, shut up, woman. My kids are in the house at the time, so I got my gun. I'm doing my SWAT moves. And I covered the whole house. And nobody in the house. Nobody's in the house. I walk back in the bedroom. Heart's pounding. I'm sweating. And I'm staring with a gun. I go, huh? She's sound asleep. She was talking in her sleep. So I'm standing with a gun and I went. Laid there for an hour wide awake. I couldn't go back to sleep. It scared me to death. All right, where was I going here? All right, let me get back on it. See, the truth is, young people, if you yield yourself to God like you should, you'll come to prove. I got from the refrigerator to that story. I have no idea. I think I really hurt my mind right here on this. If I jump up, will I go back? I don't want to injure myself going on the ridge. You'll come to prove what is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. Listen, young people, you'll know for yourself. Oh, you're thinking, well, if God will let me know what his will is, then I'll decide whether or not I want. No, it doesn't work like that. You put it all out there for God. All of it, every bit of your heart in your life. Every bit of your past, your present, your future, your will, your way, everything. You give it all to God. And you know what you'll come to find out? Quickly, you'll find 3 things about God's will. First of all, God's will is good. And I know we use the application, this is the good will of God. It's for, that's the part God has for you. Acceptable, second best, and perfect is the word perfect will of God. Oh, yeah, I don't have a problem with all that, even though I don't think that's right. But the point is this. Here's what it really means. You'll find out God's will is good. You ever somebody recommend a restaurant to you? Huh? Oh, you got to try this restaurant. You go over there and you think, what rat did they skin back there and deep fry and put on my stinking plate? This cat's taste buds are busted. Nasty, filthy, stinking food. Like Taco Bell. Taco Bell is not Mexican food. Can I get a witness from the hermanos tonight? Viva la raza, hermanos! That is Mexican food for white people. Stupid white people, by the way. Crazy white people. It's Alpo on a cracker. That's dog food, people. Stinking dog food. I just love Taco Bell. White boy. Weather. Give me a break, man. Honky. cracker, and whatever else we can think for white people. You know the truth. See, I'm an Indian. I call you whatever I want. Mess with me, I'll scalp you. The truth of the matter is, and every time I say Taco Bell is like Alpo dog food, I always have to put a disclaimer because it's probably being recorded. Is it being like visually recorded? Okay, right here. Stay with me. I want to apologize to the Alpo dog food people. Your wonderful product has been feeding dogs for centuries, and it's done a great job. I'm sorry I lessened it to Taco Bell. Only thing worse than that is In-N-Out hamburgers. Line up right here, shorty. No. Hey, look at me. No. You know why they call it In and Out? Huh? Because they cook your little hamburger. There's more meat in the tongue of my stinking shoe than in that hamburger. And then they give it to you, and right before you take a bite, they pull the meat out of it. So they put it in, and they take it out. Well, you're going to get a quadruple, Pastor Johnson. Why do you have to order 4 patties to get a bite of meat? Think about it, people. It's somewhere under the tomato. Seriously. It's not a hamburger. Talk about In-N-Out. Well, it's cheap. It's cheap because there's no meat in there. If you don't put meat in it, it's vegan, brother. You're vegan. You're vegan. I said it's good. I got to hurry up and get out of the stories. Here we are. It's good. You know what happens, people? Look at me. It's not good. I didn't say it'd be good to you. It will be eventually if you get it right. But God knows what's good for us. Yes, sir. And all you got to do is yield. And then you know what you'll find out? What you find out on the other side of a total yielded life, completely given to God on a regular basis to God, you'll find out, oh, God's will is good. I don't always see that. Sunday, I was telling Brother Joseph, I was telling him that I preached Sunday on the good of Romans 8:28. It's God's good, not mine. But I found if I yield to the Lord, it's still good after that. He helps me understand it's good. It's acceptable. Well, if he'll tell me what it is, I'll decide whether to accept it or not. No, that's backwards. You yield all the way to God. Did you know if it's acceptable? The only time I ever talk about not being an air traffic controller anymore is when I talk about how God changed my course of my life. But I don't miss it. It's not like I say, I gave up a lot for the Lord. I give up hell. That's what I give up. I give up my first class ticket to hell. And I'm on my way to heaven. And if he wants to change the course of my life, then he can change the course of my life. And I found something out. If you stay yielded to God. See, some of you tonight, reason you've taken this thing back with God and yourself. You took yourself back. And all of a sudden now you got all these problems with your youth group. And you got a problem with your youth director. And you got a problem with your preacher. And you got a problem with your parents. And you got a problem with your friends. You can't find anything acceptable in your life because you won't stay yielded to the Lord. It's not them. It's you. Get back on a full yielded altar and guess what you'll find? It's acceptable. And it's not like, okay, fine, I'll put up with it. No. It's acceptable. And lastly, it's perfect. Perfect in the Bible means it's got everything in it. That's why you go to Five Guys. There's meat in there. Can I get a witness at least on Five Guys from you In-N-Out people? 3 of you. All of the deaf folks, God bless you. There we go. All right. It's perfect. Yes, sir. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Believe this or not. I like I'm in the jungle or something. Oh, here we go. Let me go over here. Yeah, this one's almost dead. Here we go. See that little fat foot right there? That fat foot right there has stood under the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I've been to London so many times I can do tours. I've seen the sun rise in Russia and set in Africa. God has blessed me to go to 6 of the 7 continents in my life. But if I could take it back just a little bit further from that and be a little more applicable to you today, God has blessed me with the most incredible wife. Amen. She is amazing. She is absolutely amazing. I tell her that all the time. I do. I tell her, I said, girl, you got the package. You're beautiful. You're pretty. You're cute. You're lovely. You have a pristine beauty about you. You a fine looking woman too. Let me tell you that right now. She'll be standing at the sink washing dishes in that little flower dress of hers, and I'll go, girl, you got it going on over there. I'll tell you that right now, ma. And then I do my famous Mexican bandit. I walk over and I take her and I'll dip her. And I'll say, my name is Garcia and you are my woman. Then I start singing Bésame, which is in the red one. You know, the truth is, Bésame, bésame mucho. Anyway, so oh man. She put a little note in my suitcase that I found. I didn't know it was in there. I found it, read it. She used to put one in every time when I go down to college on Tuesdays at Golden State to teach. She puts a little note in my shirt or something like that. One day she put it in my underwear, and I didn't find it till like late in the afternoon. That was a little rough. She wrote it on sandpaper, too. I don't understand that. But anyway, she's amazing. She's a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 6, and we got one in the hangar. That means a 7th coming. She's beautiful. She's the best Christian I know. I couldn't imagine that coming from a drunkard's home. But my dad's been married 5 times. My brother's been married 4 times. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine the life I have today. I couldn't imagine that. I could not imagine, people look here. I could not imagine how many times I wake up and I think, this is perfect. Yep. Oh, you mean because you got to go all those places, you get to do everything that you want? No. It's perfect because it's God's will. Yep. And I found out, even in the cemetery, it's perfect. And at the hospital, it's still perfect. And when I don't understand, it's still perfect. The issue isn't, can God explain it to me? He doesn't have to, because he's got everything he paid for. Let's stand our feet, please, tonight. Present your body a living sacrifice.